Next question for the podcast. What would a Jocko school for boys and girls 8 to 16 years old, this should be interesting, what would that look like? Schedule, subjects, physical education?
So, first of all, I would love to do this. And seriously, one day I may do this.
Lord of the Flies.
Yes. I actually really do relate to kids for some reason. And I think I could develop a school that would be awesome and outstanding and would produce really stable, strong, mentally capable children for the world. So I was so happy when I saw this question. And I've actually looked, and I've actually pondered the ideas of, buying a piece of property, what it would cost, maybe getting some investors together that we're going to build a school. I mean, I've actually looked for property, which is something I do all the time, but I've looked for property and said, okay, this would probably work.
As so what? Like almost like an extension school, like in a little academy?
No, like an academy, like a school that you go to.
Right.
And we what we could probably do is do like instead of hey, you're going to go here from 6th grade to graduation, you go for like 1 year. You go 1 year here. You go back to your regular school. After you've been in the school for a year, you're going to go back to your regular school. You're going to totally dominate.
Yeah.
You're going to be number one. You're going to learn so much more. It's just going to be awesome. So we wouldn't need to bring wouldn't need to bring these young these children into the school for the entire time, because you could go back out into the regular world and overlay what you learned at the academy and you would just dominate. And so, maybe I'll end up doing that someday. And the schedule, I mean, I didn't spend that much time on it.
Yes, you did.
And it doesn't really even take that much time to figure out, because you know what we're doing. We're waking up very early in the morning. We're doing a hardcore PT, some kind of sports, variety of sports. Guess what? We're playing every sport. Baseball, basketball, swimming, football, soccer, wrestling, judo, boxing. We're going to do a little bit of everything. That's going to happen really early in the morning. I mean, obviously, we're getting up at 4:30. We are up before the sun gets up. I mean, that's the way it is. And then we get the knowledge. So we go into the classrooms. I would get instructors that were full on engaged in what they're doing, just in the game, that love their subject and that can relate it to the world. And most important, because I think this is what's lacking sometimes, most important, through all the different knowledge courses, so all the basic knowledge, there would be a common thread that connects them all together, because that's what I think people are missing that a lot. I think we miss that underlying theme of through our educational system. But I think when you connect everything, they're more powerful. Like when you connect math to science to history to English to foreign language, and you connect those to art and music, and you connect, because they're all those things. If you look at history, all those things are connected. They're all connected, but we don't make the connections.
Right.
And when you don't connect things, they're weaker. So I would force, or I would. You wouldn't have to force it. You don't have to force it. I would foster that thread through everything, so that everything made sense in a big picture. And that way, when you get granular, you're tying it into this overlying theme of civilization and the movement of the way things go through civilization. Now I'll tell you another piece of this. You would learn vocational skills at my school, 100%. You would learn carpentry. You would learn how to do electrical wiring. You would learn plumbing. You would learn automotive and motor repair. You would learn all those things. And guess what? Are you going to take those courses? Like I said, this school would probably only be a year long. That's fine. Because guess what? You know how long it takes to learn basic carpentry? Not real long. Yeah. Are you going to be a skilled carpenter? No, but I'm not looking to build skilled carpenters. Yeah. Are you going to be ready to rewire a giant building, a commercial building? No, but could you rewire a house? Likely. It doesn't take that much time to learn that. You won't be skilled at it, but you will have the knowledge. Same thing with plumbing and, like I said, the automotive. So you would learn those vocational skills, because we have people in America right now that don't know any of that stuff. And that's jacked up.
Yeah. Even like when I was young, my dad used to make us change our own oil. You can go anywhere. It takes like 50 minutes. But he's like, no, you change your own oil. You got to know what to do with the oil. There's this little process. You can't just be rolling around and change flat tire. Even now, I have AAA. I don't call AAA for a flat tire, because I hadn't got a flat tire in a long time. I got a flat tire one day, and actually recently I've been getting kind of flat tires. Nonetheless. But I change them every time, because when I first got it after not having a flat tire for a while, I thought, oh man, do I even remember how to do this? Of course I did. I remember how to do it. It's not that hard, just like you said. So there are people who don't know. They get a flat tire and they're lost. They're lost. They have AAA or whatever. Sure, they get saved. But if they can do it themselves, that's
so at my school, you would learn those vocational skills, and then on top of that, you'd learn basic survival skills. Little hunting, little fishing, little gardening and planting, and how to grow things, grow food, and your basics, water, fire, and shelter. You'd learn those. So you'd be able to survive in any environment, any situation. Obviously, with all those survival skills and the vocational skills and even the classroom knowledge skills, there would be a system of team building where you're going to be doing things together as a team, not only for your classes, but also cleaning the place, working together as a team. And that's what they do in military boot camps. All you do is clean. They turn cleaning into like a team building exercise. So we would do that. People would be in simple uniforms, nothing too fancy. Obviously, the nighttime would be the study of the martial arts, and you would learn the basics of jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, and wrestling. And that's what my school would be like. And there'd be some real discipline there, and there would be real achievement. And I think that anybody that spent 1 year in that school right there would have a infinitely greater chance of success and domination in whatever the field they chose to go into, and when they went back to their school, to their regular school.
It's funny, at first thought, when I'm kind of picturing this stuff or whatever, and I'm sure I'm not the only one listening to this, where you'd be like, oh shoot, that's a hardcore school, they got to be ready to get.
And now, but then you want to go.
Well, when you think about it, it probably wouldn't be that hardcore. In fact, it'd probably be kind of fun, given your approach to teaching or in leading and stuff like that. Because, man, I remember it was like when I first met you. I met you, and you don't remember when I first met you, but so I kind of knew you or whatever a little bit. This was back at the boxing club. And you came in, it's the first time I saw your kids, Thor and I think one of his sisters. I forget. I don't know which one, I forget. They were just little kids. Yep. And you had brought them or whatever. Yep. And they come in the door, and they just start running around like this is a big playground, right?
Psychopaths.
Running around, hitting the bags and doing all this stuff, right? And then you had this look on your face, kind of like it's almost like you had control of the situation, but you were just gonna let them be them, kind of thing. And I remember just kind of looking at it like, oh, this is interesting. I never seen Jocko and his kids, So so I was kind of just watching. So
decentralized command.
It was real, in a matter of speaking, yeah. So. Jiu-jitsu started kind of going on, and I think you might have even been teaching. I don't know. You were involved in some way, and they got loud real quick, and it kind of was like, for lack of a better term, kind of distracting. And you kind of stopped what you're doing. You were like, "You kid, stop that!" Like real mean. And then I was like, "Let me see how they react." I look, and then they stop. They look at you just for maybe almost 2 seconds. They look at you. They look at each other like that, and they just start laughing and keep going. And then you kind of started laughing at the same time. I was like, oh, I see. You're probably strict, but it's not. They're kids. Yeah, they're doing kid stuff.
We want.
They're not breaking nothing. Yeah. So it was it's almost like they knew, and then they knew beyond that. They knew what was ultimately up. That was interesting.
Well, who knows? Maybe we can put this school together at some point. I know there's a lot of people that would love to send their kids to a school like this on every end. I would send all my kids to school like this tomorrow if it existed.
Yeah.
1 year of the academy.
That's what it's called, the academy.
I think it would have to be.
You know, a big part of it, and I'm sure this would be implemented in the whole system, is how the teachers and instructors are treated.
For sure.
You know, like, because I think that's a lot of the time anyway, like one of the many issues, you know, when issues come up in education, it's like, how are the teachers regarded in that situation? Yeah, man. Yeah, good. Sign me up.